Hey everybody, this is Peter with Cooking with Peter. Today I'm going to be making something really special. It's called Cowboy Beans. And frankly, we're going to be calling it the ultimate Cowboy Beans. This recipe first came to me by my great friends, Rich and Troy from Arizona. Troy is an executive chef, probably a corporate executive chef. And Rich is a fantastic chef on his own, makes some great meals. Every time you go to their home, you always know you're going to have some great food, and it's going to last for several hours, so that's always a good thing in my book. But today we're going to be making the ultimate cowboy beans. Sometimes people call this calico beans. So what do you say? Let's get started on these ultimate cowboy beans. One of the machines that I forget that I have sometimes sitting out in my pantry is my Ninja Foodi pressure cooker. I love this machine, I just sometimes forget it's there. So I've had this for a number of years, and every time I use the machine, I'm always super glad that I have it because the food comes out fantastic every time. If you don't have one of these, you could have like an Instant Pot or something of that nature. You just need to have a pressure cooker, basically. And that's what I'm going to be using today to make these ultimate cowboy beans. I'm going to go over the list of ingredients with you today, and the list of ingredients are going to start with calico beans, which are actually just 3 different types of beans. By the way, you can use canned beans with this. I don't choose to. Or you can go to the store and get dried beans. And if you're going to get dried beans, there's a really easy way to get the beans ready more quickly. You can put the beans into a big pot, fill it with some water just over the beans by about 1 inch or 2, and then you can boil the beans for about 2 minutes. Then take them off the fire, put the lid onto the pan, and then let them sit there for about 1 hour or 2, and they will come to life, so to speak, and not be dried anymore. And then you can just go ahead and use them as you would canned beans, and you're going to have beans that have a lot more flavor. So today I'm using these beans, and they have black beans, pinto beans, and red beans. Then we're going to have about 4 slices of thick bacon. So I've cut this into pieces, as you can see, because that's going to go into the pot in a minute. And we have about 2 tablespoons of butter. Here I have about a little less than 1 pound of ground beef. And so that can be like a 88-12, something a little leaner. You really don't want a fatty ground beef. Over here I have some green peppers that I've diced up. I'm also going to be using some onions, and I'll be getting those out of the cabinet in a minute because I forgot about them. So I used dried onions an awful lot. My sister turned me on to that, and so I really like doing that because they don't have a strong flavor or strong smell that makes your eyes burn, so I've been using dried onions a lot. Here we have just a can of just diced tomatoes. I did pour the liquid off of the tomatoes so that we don't have too much liquid going into the Ninja Foodi pressure cooker. I also have a can of baked beans. These are just Bush's baked beans. 1 can, and the recipe calls for that, so I'm not quite sure, to be honest with you, why, but it does. Spice-wise, we're going to have a teaspoon of salt. We have a teaspoon of garlic, granulated garlic. I have a tablespoon of Worcestershire sauce, a teaspoon of smoked red paprika, half a teaspoon of chili powder. This is just regular red chili. We have a teaspoon of whole grain mustard. We have half a teaspoon of black pepper. And then we have a teaspoon of granulated onion or dried onion. All right, I've turned the Ninja Foodi pressure cooker on to sear and saute. And from here, I'm going to be cooking the bacon first, removing the bacon, then cooking the beef, and then we'll go on. So let me go ahead and put the bacon in here and the butter. That's what's going in right now. And I'm going to drop that right into the Ninja Foodi. I hear that sizzle already, and I smell the butter already. So it's coming along nicely. We're going to let this go for just a couple of minutes. I just want the bacon to render a bit, maybe get a little bit of brown to it. I'm going to take it out and I'll be right back. Okay, you can see that the bacon is rendering nicely. So now I'm going to be taking it out of the Ninja Foodi. Okay, the bacon is rendered nicely, so I'm going to be removing the bacon, but not the grease, from the Foodi. Then I'll set that aside for now. We'll be putting that back in a little later. Okay, you can see the bacon is pretty crisp, and I have taken that out. The fat is still in the Foodi. So I'm going to go ahead and now put in the ground beef, and we'll start browning that off. I'm also going to throw in the green peppers. I do think it's important for this dish that you use the green pepper, not a red pepper, yellow pepper, orange. They're too mild. The green peppers always have a little more sharpness to their flavor, and I think it's important for this dish. So I'll throw that in. I'm going to start busting up that ground beef. It's looking great and smelling better. All right, I have the ground beef and the green bell pepper cooking. I'm just going to go ahead and add the dried onions to that. It's about a half a cup or so of dried onion. You can see that the ground beef is getting done and cooked. Bell pepper is getting a little more soft. We're all going well. Another ingredient that I forgot to tell you about earlier, towards the end, we're going to be using some barbecue sauce, but only about a cup. I particularly love this barbecue sauce. It's made by Head Country. I'm an Oklahoma guy. This company is an Oklahoma company. However, I think you can buy it on Amazon and probably from the company itself. It's one of the best tasting barbecue sauces I've ever had. Not too sweet, great flavor. I highly recommend this Head Country barbecue sauce. All right, now that the ground beef and pepper and bacon and all that is cooked, we need to kind of deglaze the bottom of the pan. We don't want anything to stick on the bottom of the Foodi. If you do let it stick, you're going to be getting a burn notice, and then the whole thing is going to be a mess. So go ahead and just dump that water right into the pot. It's about a cup, and mix this up. Now we're just going to use our spoon, and we're going to move this around and kind of get all the little tidbits off of the bottom of the pan. All right, now we're going to be adding in our beans. Now I'm going to put in the 1 can of baked beans. I just happen to use Bush's Original. Here we have a can of diced tomatoes. Bought this at Costco, put those in. Any brand of diced tomatoes, you might want to pour off the juice because we don't want it to be too liquidy. All right, now to the pot, I'm going to be adding some spices. So here we have 1 teaspoon of salt. Here we have a teaspoon of garlic powder, or granulated garlic. Remember, look for the type that has no added salt. Here we have 1 tablespoon of Worcestershire sauce. Going to give us some great flavor. We have 1 teaspoon of smoked paprika. Here we have half a teaspoon of chili. It's red chili, like a New Mexican style chili. Half a teaspoon of black pepper. And by the way, the recipe for this will be down below in a link. So if you want the recipe, you can certainly just get the recipe right there. It's on my website. And here we have 1 teaspoon of onion powder. Now the last thing we're putting in is some stone ground mustard, only about a teaspoon of that as well. Now just use your spoon and give this a good mix. It smells fantastic already. Half of the bacon goes in now, but only half. You don't need all of it. Again, mix that around because that bacon is going to give it some excellent flavor. Okay, you can see how everything is coming together in the pot, all mixed together. I've got some good liquid there, you can see that. The last thing we're going to do is put in some barbecue sauce. Put in about 1 cup, that's all you need. Just put it on top. You don't want to mix this in with everything else. All right, now we're just going to spread that around. The barbecue sauce, we're not going to mix it in. Only spread it around. Okay, now remember, whenever we're going to go from one feature mode to the other, we have to turn the machine off. So I'm going to turn the machine off. Now I'm going to slide this over, and we're going to go to pressure cook. Turn it back on. You can see now that it's set for high. I'm going to adjust this so that it has a delayed release. So it's going to be on high 10 minutes. I'm going to press start. It'll preheat for about 10 to 15 minutes. Then it's going to cook for about 10 minutes. And then the delayed response will be about 10 minutes more. And that's one of the features that I like about this machine, is a delayed release. Okay, as with all pressure cookers, you know, they take time to come up to temperature. So it'll take about 10 minutes or so for the steam to build up and for the pressure to build up in the pressure cooker. All right, we're up to the countdown of the 10 minutes on the pressure cooker. So I'll come back to you in about 10 minutes time. That's when it's going to go over to the delayed release. And that's a very nice feature of this particular Ninja Foodi. If you don't have that feature on yours, you can just simply wait about 5 or 10 minutes after the machine has finished, and then you'll be able to release the pressure on your own. Well, we've wrapped up our pressure cooking. Now we're on a delayed release time, and that will release here in just a few more minutes. Well, my friends, we are there. That delayed response on this Ninja is working great, letting off the pressure for us. Didn't even have to be around. How about that? Okay, now we can release the pressure altogether. I'll pull it over to the side, and now I'm going to pull up. Now remember, you have a lot of steam, a lot of heat coming up from here. So make sure that you stay out of the way. I'm going to go ahead and turn this back onto a sear and saute for about, I don't know, 5 minutes or so, and that will help us get rid of some of this liquid. It's not a lot of liquid in here. Let me show it to you on this camera. You can see there's not a lot of liquid in here, but I'm going to go ahead and reduce that down just a little bit. I'm going to turn it back on sear and saute for about 4 or 5 minutes, and then we'll be finished. I'm going to show you how these beans all came out. They look really, really delicious. Okay, my friends, we are there. I've got the beautiful cowboy beans here in the bowl. Just going to add a couple of pieces of this bacon that we rendered earlier today. I'm going to put the rest of the bacon back in here with the beans, just put them on top. And then on the top of this, you can serve it just like this, or you could put some cheese on top. Something like that, let it get all melted down. Also, I always love a little bit of sour cream on top as well. I'm going to do that. All right, my friends, there you have it. It's all wrapped up today. And this is the cowboy beans. They're here in this bowl. I put in some cheese and sour cream on top. I've got some cornbread sitting over here. Sounds like a delicious dinner to me. If you will use the Ninja Foodi or Instant Pot pressure cooker, this comes together literally in about 45 minutes all together. I want to give a big shout out again to my great friends Rich and Troy. We've been friends for over 30 years, so miss you guys, and hopefully we'll see you again real soon. Thanks again for watching the video today. I really, really appreciate it. Do me a favor, please give us a big thumbs up, leave a comment down below, let us know where you're watching the video from, and I'll be sure to give you a shout out on one of our future videos. Also, you can become a supporting member of the channel. We've had many more people join as becoming supporting members lately. So if you'd like to become a supporting member, you can click the link down below, or you can always just buy me a coffee, and that link is down below too. Thanks again for watching, and we will see you next time. See you later.